Talk to me about like obviously this new record, "Beautiful Day" is dope, but I know like you got a new album on the way.
Yeah, new album, Not Guilty.
Not Guilty.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, it's a statement for the culture. I just think the culture's under attack right now.
What do you mean by that?
Just in general, I think the way it's just such a negative vibration in the music business. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of it came from just miseducation. But for the most part, like when I look, that's one of the reasons why I even created Beautiful Day, because I just feel like sometimes we take a lot of things for granted, bro. Like no matter how bad your life is, somebody out there got it worse.
Yeah.
And we're always focusing on what we want or what we should have versus what we already have that we should be grateful for.
Do you feel like with because there's been so many negative things happening in the music industry, so many people are worried about people getting exposed with the Diddy situation.
Right.
Do you feel like that? Because obviously, like, we kind of all grew up, like, looking at Diddy. And, like, look, for Diddy's rights or wrongs, like, he's a mogul. He's he's somebody who we could look at and be like, yo, I want to aspire to be boss like him.
100%.
So when something like this happens and it feels like there's going to be a lot of, aftershock that might affect other people in the music industry, do you feel like there's like a weight of that situation in particular weighing on just the industry in general? Or
I think it's weighing on the whole industry, because
Yeah.
I don't think a situation like that can happen without the industry's participation. You know what I mean? But for the most part, the industry always like bred these kind of situations, these kind of behaviors. And I think it's at a time now where the world itself is just cleansing itself.
Yeah.
I think I see this more of as a spiritual movement than it is something physical or someone being, directly targeted, if that makes sense.
Nah,
because this is something that needs to be exposed for everyone, spiritually, to cleanse themselves, their emotions, their thoughts, all the lies need to come out. Like, we just need to get back to being human versus playing the role of what other people want us to play. And I think we're at that point now where you're forced to now have to confront all your doings. I just think like nature does that spiritually. It does it physically. Like even think about all these hurricanes and all this stuff in areas that we never expected it to happen.
Yeah.
The world is just cleansing itself, period. And I don't think we're going to be exempt to it.
Yeah, you think there's like a spiritual cleansing for sure? Like
1,000%.
Yeah.
That's how I feel for sure.
Yeah, I think that is one thing you said, like when it comes to like certain levels of some of this stuff that just became like normal behavior, like you said, like everybody is people were ignoring this stuff and participating and enabling, you can go all the way back to like some of the allegations against like Russell Simmons and like, you know what I mean? So it's like this kind of behavior isn't new, and it was kind of the worst kept secret. So that's where I wonder, once all of the like trials and start happening, like, does security play a part in getting in trouble?
Of course.
The assistant, the person who answers the emails, the person that runs and picks up the drugs, and, there's going to be so many people, like, there's so many people enabled.
It's too many elements.
Too many.
And it's nothing that he could have personally been able to do by himself.
Yeah.
It had to have been supported by people around him that support the whole concept. And I think this is the point where everybody's, going to be worried. And this is the reason why the whole industry's quiet. No one's speaking out, because as many people that this man has helped, uplifted, and set up to live them lives, their lives, or set up their lives of family, you would expect someone to come in his defense. But no one's doing that. I think the only person
who did was Stevie J, I think.
Yeah, he's probably the only one.
I'm assuming you haven't been to any freak-offs.
No, I don't do freak-offs. Unfortunately not. Because I was never a party person. And
I was going to say, you're not that kind of guy. I feel like anytime I see you at any like event, it's like you're there on business.
I'm in and out.
You're in and out, yep.
And if you never really see me hanging around with celebrities or none of that, because that was never really my life. I just saw it as work for perspective, but I always thought the mindset of how people or celebrities per se think, they always felt like they were above everyone else, and I didn't like that attitude.
Yeah. I feel like even like anytime I've ever had encounters with you, you're very like you're just a normal dude. Yeah, but
I was just blessed to be in a position.
But you're also Akon.
I get it. I'm popular, but I don't think it changed the man, though.
Yo, talk to me about because obviously you have a lot of entrepreneurial stuff. I just opened a pizza restaurant here in Burbank, and I heard
me too.
I heard you just opened one in Jacksonville, right?
Yeah, I got 3 in Atlanta and 1 in Jacksonville that we just opened up, and we're gonna spread out to the West Coast as well too.
How's the pizza game?
We should do a collab.
We should, man. Yeah,
that would
my
be dope.
spot's like right here on the corner.
Oh, is it?
It's right. Yeah, it's right here in Burbank.
That would be hard.
Yeah,
that would be dope.
How's the pizza game been for you? Like,
man, amazing.
Yeah,
like bro, like it takes. Literally, it only costs 8 cents to make.
Yeah, pizza is the highest. It's got the highest margin.
Food. Yeah, it's the highest margin for any food in the world. It's like, but then it's so good, and it's a snack. It's also could be a meal.
It'll never go out of style.
It's affordable. It'll never go out of style.
Yeah.
It's like the best business to go into if you're talking about food.
So you got 3 of them.
Yeah, 4 now.
now.
Jacksonville makes
wow.
4.
Shout out to Jacksonville, man. That's dope.
Yeah,
man.
the goal is to get 20 by the end of 2026.
Akon and the Pizza Game. Do you have any other franchises or anything you're a part of that you have?
No. But the next one's going to be a jollof rice fast food restaurant.
Oh, fire.
Yeah, so it's going to be called jollof. It's going to be fast food like McDonald's or Wendy's or whatever, but that's more like African cuisine, but quick. Almost like, what's that one? Chipotle.
Yeah, no, that is interesting because there hasn't been any. I feel like we don't have a lot of exposure on a commercial level to African food.
Yeah,
that's
true.
That's true. Like we get Jamaican food. Like you can get jerk chicken at like.
Yeah, you can get Jamaican. Yeah. You can get Chinese. You can get Thai.
For sure. What for you, man? Like, talk to me just about like your how do you feel about where we are musically right now? Because I feel like we've had like a interesting year because, I feel like the Kendrick Drake thing kind of took over this year in terms of hip hop, at least.
Right.
And at least for me, as like a fan, I appreciated the fact people were like caring about bars again. You know what I mean? So there was
that was the positivity.
That was the positive.
It brought hip hop back to its essence.
It did. It also created like the civil war of hip hop.
Right. But I honestly, believe it or not, as much as I love the idea that happened, I wish it would have ended on a shaking hands, bygones be bygones, let them continue. Because that's the one thing about the hip hop industry. Like when you look at the LL and Kool Moe Dee beef all the way back in the day, those boys, after all of that, they came back and set an example. Like this is friendly competition, They both went at it. You know who won. This is what it is, and they kept moving on with their careers. And I think sometimes with this generation, we take things so emotionally personal to the point where it goes beyond the competition on wax that it can easily like kind of easily spill over into some real live beef. And I just think that we got to we have to change that tone of it.
Yeah, I think too. Like with this like new landscape of fans and the internet.
Right.
Like now fans are emboldened. They're trying to expose artists.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Dropping locations.
Oh, my goodness. It's that crazy. Man, listen, the vibration of what music is so negative right now. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of it, honestly, I would kind of give my generation, I would say we're partly responsible for that too.
Why is that?
You know what I mean? Because I think it was a different step. Like the hip hop generation that we came up on, like the African Bombadas and all them, like they always spoke on positive messaging. It was always party. If it was something that kind of like scrubbed the edge of content, it was always about something political that was going on in our neighborhoods
or like
that we want to speak out about.
Something like that, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then later, when our generation came, then gangster rap kind of opened the door up for a different era of music, where street crimes and street, you could say politics became something to brag about.
Yeah,
it became something that you needed to be attached to make it in hip hop to be relevant, or even to be heard, or even to be looked at as somebody official. So then what happened was this new generation took that and really felt like they can glorify being gangster or glorify getting shot versus shooting, to the point where you can't be a rapper unless you got, or you've been locked up, or you've been shot, or you done shot at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Almost like that becomes your calling card or your backstage pass to become a part of the entertainment.
Yeah, and I always say this too, like it kind of, fans become desensitized to when people die.
To the point where it's like, it's a part of it.
Well, they look at, I feel like they're looking at a lot of these kids as like characters in a TV show that they watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so if someone dies, they're like, I'm going to leave a comment.
Yeah.
I know who did it. It's ridiculous.
Crazy.